Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Eddie Jennings from EJSLLC.com. This video is another in my practice session series for the Red Hat Certified Specialist in Managing Automation with Ansible Automation Platform Exam EX467. Before I dive in, I want to thank returning subscribers for watching another video, as well as invite anyone who's watching, if you haven't subscribed yet, to click the subscribe button. Also, a reminder that these are my practice sessions for the exam, which is in just over a week, and I'm going through all of the published objectives from Red Hat and either demonstrating whatever the objective is or talking about the concept behind the objective. And at the end of the video, I'll do an assessment, and hopefully I'll feel pretty confident about whatever the objective is. And if not, then I know what I need to look at in this last week or so of preparation to fill in some knowledge gaps. That being said, these should not be considered tutorials, nor should they be considered training materials, nor really should they be considered authoritative information. I am learning the concepts for this exam right along with you. That being said, I do try to have the information accurate because I'm hoping at this point in my preparation I have not learned inaccurate information, but understand that I too am still learning, so I would not use these as any type of authoritative information source. So continuing with the Manage Automation Controller projects, we're going to take a look at controlling user access to job templates, as well as schedule jobs and manage notifications, since the other video was getting a little bit long and frankly I needed a break from my chair. So we'll go back into the controller and let's take a look. I wonder if I would be able to see the access for this. I have rights to delete. Yeah. So I have because I have the project administrator right on this. So for templates themselves, actually let me log in as the administrator account so I can talk about more of these. So for a job template itself, let me just use users for this. Use test user. You have similar permissions that you have for all of these different little object types, such as credentials and templates and inventories. You can either grant an admin permission that allows you to do everything you want. You can grant a read permission that lets you just view the details, or you can execute the job template. And so what I did, I think in the previous video, is I granted the team, test team 2, I need to go to the organization level to see this. I granted the project admin and inventory admin roles for members of test team 1. So that includes test user 1, test user 2, test user 3. So what I could do if I wanted, go to access. We're doing this from the organization versus from the team. We'll pick the team here. So we gave it project admin. Before I give it, I'm actually going to give it a workflow admin because we'll need that in a future section. But before I do giving it the job admin, I wonder if I actually do have the rights to make changes. I would imagine so, to that job template, because I have the right to create it. I would think that I can alter it. I know I can, but yeah. So, now it's coming to me. That's grumble. That will probably be the more challenging part of the exam is making sure I have the permissions right in my head. Something that I will have to definitely do on the exam is read the objectives very carefully to make sure I fully understand what the end result permission is. I'm sure on the exam I'm going to have to set permissions for something, otherwise you wouldn't have all these objectives talking about roles and such. So back to what we were doing. What I could do in the organization here, we're going to go into test team 2 and we are going to configure some roles. First, we're going to grant it, if I wanted this team to not be able to make changes to this job template at all, but I did want them to be able to run the job template, I can grant them execute. for that job template to that team. And if I were to log out, log in as test user 3, then I should be able to go to templates. I can see some details with it, which I would imagine execute. You really need to be able to see details. I can't make any changes to it, nor am I able, if I were to, let's see, project 1. Yeah, I don't have the ability to view the project, nor am I able to view the credential that it would have, but I can launch the project. So let's launch it. And of course we get the survey that was set in the previous video, and that worked without a problem. So what I want to do is compare that kind of access that I had to a different permission, just to see the difference. And then something that I have found useful really throughout the preparation, but in the last couple of days where I've been doing kind of my final review to make sure I have everything in the front side of my head, so to speak, is just going through different scenarios of permissions really does help fill in some knowledge gaps about what permissions can do. And I keep saying permissions, really I should say roles, because that's the term that is used by Ansible Automation Platform. But doing little scenarios like this, I think, is helpful for like working the mental map of how all of these permissions and roles work out. So let's first go back to the job templates, and we are going to remove, yeah, this is what I want. So we're getting rid of that. Yep, and they have admin from the other project role. Okay, so what I want to do for teams, we're going to give team 2, they can't create projects, or rather we don't want them to create projects, but we are going to give them we do just job templates, and we have to pick which templates we want to work, but we want this to affect all of the templates. So we're going to give them the organization role in test org 1 of job template admin. And while this will not allow them to create job templates, it should allow them to modify any of the job templates that we have. So we'll put this to the test. Probably should have looked at the permissions first. We'll go to job templates, and now we see we can edit it. We can't make new ones, but we can edit it. We can take a look at access, and we see job template admin has come from the team role. All right, so control user access to job templates. I think I have a fairly good understanding of that. And lastly, we'll look at scheduling jobs and manage notifications. I don't think I can do, I can't do notifications with this user. I do wonder, go back to details. Actually, let me go back to edit. Yeah, I don't have the rights to do that, and I expected it. So let's go back to our administrator account or admin account, and we'll take a look at notifications. So there's all sorts of different notifications you can make. I'm going to name this just email notification. We'll give it to good old test org and the type. So we're going to try to work with an email one. There's a lot of different ones that you can do. It has some built-in stuff for IRC, such as you would give it whatever server port and IRC NIC, all that kind of stuff. You can do customized messages for almost any of them. And this I think in a actual production environment will be pretty powerful, because you can customize exactly how you want the items to be. We're going to try to make an email notification work. I don't have actual SMTP server set up for my lab network, but what you get is kind of the JSON dump of whatever job template did. And I would imagine, yeah, there's built-in documentation that you can get for all of the different little Jinja variables that will be, because this effectively is a Jinja template, I'm sure, that you would be able to use. So we're not going to do customized messages. We are going to try to do email. Some of these others, like Grafana, you have the API key, all that kind of good stuff. And I think at the very least you can do a webhook. So for our email, let's see, the host, we'll do lab controller internal EGS lab. I probably could have just done localhost for this. We'll say the recipient list is admins at internal.egslab.com. We'll say the sender is Ansible at internal.egslab.com. Port 25 for SMTP. Timeout, we'll say 30 seconds for timeout. You're not going to do any of the start TLS stuff. And let's just see if this will work without actually feeding it authentication. You can do a little test, which is nice. And let's see if I can get this to do what I want for the demonstration. So SSH into lab controller, var log. Can I read the mail log? No. Let me become root. Less mail log. No mail log. I'm going to cat one of the other mail logs. Yeah. All right. So let's edit this. I'm going to change it to localhost and see if that makes a difference. I doubt that it will, but we'll try it. Oh, I totally did not see the whole failed thing for that. So, of course, this is listening on port 25 at all. Might not be able to demonstrate this. I would imagine on the exam, if they wanted me to like do an email notification or any of the notifications, they will have the services set up for it to communicate to. I know you can like send a little mail message within. I guess I could install postfix on this and see what it does without any type of configuration. I'll just add port 25. Oh, it's been a while since I've set up postfix. Maybe this wasn't that good of an idea. All right, got something listening on 25. So we got localhost listening. All right, so let's make sure this is localhost. Let's see what happens now. All right, didn't get a failure. Okay, so well, maybe this isn't what I was looking for. Yeah, it's not going to boo. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it did receive a message for ansible.at internal.egslab.com, right? That's what I send your email recipients. Well, anyway, this is how if I had a functioning SMTP server that can actually handle mail properly, this is how you would configure your notification. And then from the job template perspective, now that we have this notification, what we can do is say if we want this notification to happen at the start, at the success or failure of the job template, and any of the above. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to see the message with that. I would need a functioning SMTP server, and alas, I don't set them up very often, and so I'm not going to take the time in the video to fumble through it, because conceptually I think I understand what's going on, and I would think in the lab environment, they would have the SMTP set up for you. Or maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I encounter my EX467 exam and I get the Ansible stuff right, but I fail it because I could not figure out off the top of my head how to set up an SMTP server. Hopefully that's not going to be the case. But I think for the objectives in the Manage Automation Controller projects, I'm pretty well ready on the exam for that. So if you found this video useful or helpful, make sure you do click like on it. I want to thank returning subscribers again for watching another video, as well as invite anyone, if you haven't subscribed yet, to click the subscribe button and ring the bell when you do, so you can be aware of when new content is made. I know I haven't put any new content probably in several months because all of my time has been with prepping for the exams, but I am doing my recording of the exam sessions, and eventually I'll get the time to edit the audio, which has basically making it a little bit louder and do a little bit of video editing, which is not having you watch 30 minutes while AAP controller is installed, and get those up there. So as always, thank you for your time, and I will see you the next time.